Southern University. What's up with y'all?
From the Bluff to Scotlandville to Baton Rouge and all over the world, this is the Jag Talk podcast, powered by Southern University Student Media.
What's up? Welcome to another episode of Jag Talk podcast. It's your host DB of the brand. Y'all know me. I see y'all. Y'all hope y'all see me as well. We have Jalen over here.
Hi, I'm Jalen. I'm a senior. Hopefully next year I'll be graduating. Pray for me. And I'm from BR. Sierra.
Hi, I'm Sierra. Cece. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I live in Dallas. I'm a mass communications major and I'm a junior.
Hey, it's Q the Celebrity.
Thank you.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm a senior, and hopefully I'll be graduating next spring. Like she said, pray for us.
Pray
it's
for
looking
y'all,
like
please.
SU whenever, and I don't really like that.
Man.
So,
What? Good morning, y'all. How we feeling?
We're feeling good.
Good as I look.
Great.
Fabulous.
I lost my car, y'all. Still don't have my car.
Bruh, I already know how that goes. That's that
I'm
pain.
not going to be a walking commuter student that live on the
talking
other
about
side
this
of town.
car.
Yes, you are.
Man. So look, before we get into the nitty and the gritty, make sure y'all go and check out the latest version of Southern Digest newspaper.
Tag
That
us,
is
please.
issue 10. Find all of our newest content at southerndigest.com. Also, make sure to follow Southern Southern OSM on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us on Instagram at SouthernU_OSM and
Tag us,
on
tag us,
Twitter
tag
at
us.
SouthernUOSM.
That's it.
So we have some special guests for y'all today. We have Casey in Chicago coming in a little bit later. We also have, who else do we have, y'all? We have
Latavia Roberts.
Latavia Roberts, our AWS president.
Yes.
We have some star-studded SU faces coming in to give y'all some new
Yes, sir.
perspectives.
So excited.
You already know how it goes. So we have an action-packed show for y'all. Without further ado, let's get straight into it.
So honestly, have y'all heard about the new upgrades that campus is about to put in? All of the new stuff
so
that's going on.
excited.
Like they're gonna put a new Starbucks in there, even though black people not supposed to support Starbucks.
Thank you to the rest.
But you know, we got
No.
a sushi place. Like I'm excited because it's more
Now,
healthy
sushi,
eating.
I'm happy about that.
Healthy
If you don't eat
eating.
sushi, you're asleep. I'm sorry.
I've heard
Healthy
you think the
positive
fish is
eating.
raw, you're part of the problem.
Thank you.
Healthy eating. We're making some good choices. It's a lot of
About
new
time.
upgrades that they have in mind. They did it in the Cotillion Ballroom last week, and they just covered it. They provided food, drinks, refreshments, everything. I'm just so glad that they got this going on because
We need it.
We needed it.
Bad.
We did needed it. There's some more upgrades they should have put on campus, like the light fixtures, a bunch of other stuff across campus.
I definitely think they need to improve the bathroom structures we have because some of the plumbing I just can't get with.
Listen,
Like the bathrooms in
The
TTUA.
way the girls' bathroom has been treated around this campus these last few semesters should be a crime.
Yes. And you can only clean it so much.
I mean, that's the problem. The problem is cleaning it all together. But we're not gonna talk about that. Brandon, how you feeling?
I'm just really excited for upgrades to be made. There's a lot of examples of different schools around here. Howard, it's a lot of stuff that, a lot of schools are kind of just slipping on. Not saying SU is perfect. SU isn't perfect.
Yeah.
But at least they're investing in their student body and in the areas that we are in, the areas that we live at. We're actually going to have a call in a little bit later from Casey in Chicago. She's an alumni from down here. She worked at Howard. She has some insight on the whole situation down there. That's going to be really interesting. Also,
Can't
really,
wait for that.
man, right?
So
I'm sorry. Casey is that kind of name.
it's a unisex name.
It is. It's a unisex
He's a
name.
young man.
Casey is a young man,
Casey.
an alumni.
Sorry, Case, if you hear this.
Apologies. A shout out to Casey. But yeah, as far as campus upgrades go, I'm excited about it. I think we have a lot of good stuff to look forward to. I'm saying I'm going to be graduating long gone by the time this is actually happening. But
we'll be out of here by that time.
yeah, I actually wrote a really strongly worded commentary about that. Let's go check that
I
out.
will give y'all an update and a
Thank
review
Thank you, sir.
because I'm ready for the sushi.
All right.
I'm ready for that sushi.
Chill indulge for us. Up next we have sports. Let's get into it.
Hey SU, my name is Tiffany Williams, here to remind you to tune into Jag Talk podcast, which airs every Thursday at 1 p.m.
And we are back with sports. Now, SU, you guys, was voted best game day atmosphere by a big game boomer on College Game Day.
Because y'all know we busting like this.
I'm just saying.
It's just how we are.
Period. And I'm very excited about that because, oftentimes than not, HBCUs, we go overlooked and underlooked. So, as far as all things, as far as the atmosphere and then our culture, and then for us to get, looked at by a big game boomer, I was really impressed by that. And that made my heart warm up.
Something that stuck out to me about the whole thing is it wasn't just college teams. Like it wasn't just SWAC teams. It was like sports teams and like throughout the country. So we had like the Packers and the 49ers. And they're in the booth is good old SU. I'm like, yeah, we out here.
That hard smile because those people over there on the other side of the tracks, and they swear they better.
The nostalgia you get from like stepping on campus when it took you 80 hours to park, and then you was excited because you're walking up to the tailgate and somebody's grandma comes up to you like, baby, you ain't got no plate yet. Yeah. I ain't had no plate at all, ma'am.
I would love a rib. Thank you.
I would love a rib. You got boudin? I don't eat pork, but I'll eat boudin.
What? You missing out. I don't eat pork, but I'll eat boudin and bacon.
I don't really like boudin.
So my pork can be all pork.
I don't eat pork, but I eat bacon, boudin, and ham. That's it.
Pork and
anybody
bacon.
eat snake? I'm pissed off about this.
You eat snake?
I'm asking, does anybody eat snake?
No.
I'm pissed off about this FAMU game. What was that?
I like that transition.
What was that, y'all?
Man.
Listen, refs. That's all I gotta say.
I would blame the refs, but honestly.
Blame the refs. That was a BS call,
It wasn't one BS call.
No, several. They called it 3 times in a row. How you do that?
We lost by more than one score, though. Here's my point.
But that was the reason why. That led up to that.
Here's my only point.
Them boys played hard.
And I spoke to
Coach.
No.
Hey, Coach.
Devin.
Oh.
Our very own Mr. Hatcher here, the Office of Student.
Shout out to Devin.
Student Media. And we kind of talked about it. And the reality is that so far this year, the football team hasn't been good in at racking up consecutive games.
It's been up, down. It really has been loss, win all season. We haven't been on a winning streak all season.
So I'm going to pick us to win this game this week, against Jackson State.
Based on how I'm seeing it.
But it's not because I believe that I think we are better than them. But I don't think that this year is going to be just because, okay, we're going to outplay them. I think that we are in that mindset. Like we built a trend.
The same. Well, I think because of who we're playing, and then prime example. Look how we played against Alcorn. That was all hard. Like they played literally to the last freaking second and won. And I think this here game here against J State will be no different. And that's basically like homecoming 2.0 anyway. So come on. Speaking of,
but I'm still excited for the atmosphere that's going to be there.
Yes.
That rivalry.
If you're not on the campus of Southern University, come this Saturday, you missing out.
Everybody talks about how the Grambling rivalry is just so passionate. That JS, that rivalry, because we be talking.
That's one of many rivalries in HBCUs that go unrated. Like people really don't understand how hated that rivalry is.
It is like genuine vitriol and hate between these two fan bases. It's crazy.
But it's really not even that much hate, honestly. It's real love.
No,
it is. But
it is love between us and Grambling. It's real life competitive.
You hate.
It reminds me of that the family in Welcome Home Roscoe Jenkins. We Roscoe and they Clyde. Clyde got all this money and attention and fame, but it's like, I still want to beat you. I still want to win.
Well, eventually he did win, so maybe that's the sign.
Exactly. He got Lucinda.
Listen, speaking of J State, Boombox Classic is this. Boombox Classic is this Saturday. Score predictions. Who we got?
I got Jags coming out
10-point victory.
28-24. 28-24.
You know what? I'm not mad at the score. I'm gonna have to go with that too. Q
14-21.
Okay.
You better what's your number this week?
I used realistic numbers because last time I said 47. Stop. Y'all know I don't care about
Sierra.
What you think?
Man, I be on the field all day, but I don't really be going no.
See, this is why we should just give you.
So at the end of the day, I'm gonna just guess. Maybe 3 to 6.
We're gonna ignore her.
A defensive game. Real quick. We have Isaac over there in the background. Y'all cannot hear him.
Shout out to Isaac.
Isaac did not like my score prediction at all.
4-5 Jaguars will beat the 8-1 Tigers, and that will be also the victory. Now, as far as attendance, I did say it's homecoming 2.0 this Saturday, but
all the Baton Rouge is going to be here.
I had an issue, and a lot of people had an issue with, the attendance for last week's game against FAMU. It was very dry compared to what a normal homecoming, a normal, home game for Southern looks like. So anybody else have an issue with that? Because I do.
You mean versus the?
It's very skinny.
You mean this past weekend? It's not fair. It's not right. But I will say the game previous to that kind of had us, feeling ourselves a little bit. I would think that we would come out even with an even bigger crowd after we beat Alcorn finally. I mean, you would think that, but I mean, apparently that's not the case. Apparently people got very comfortable.
Do you think it's because of this rivalry just now has been renewed against FAMU, and a lot of the younger crowd don't know really much about it?
I think that's definitely it. FAMU hasn't been in the SWAC for decades. I'm saying decades. I don't know for how long they haven't been in the SWAC. They haven't been here in a while.
First game.
Well, the first game we get cheated. This game they cheated. It's not nothing new with FAMU, but do you think it will be improved? as the season goes on.
A lot of people are more so like, the reason why they're not really attending these games is because we had the homecoming game, right? And then right after that, we played Alcorn. And that's why, it's because like after Alcorn, it was like, after the homecoming game, it was like, okay, well, I need a break.
Do you think it was a break or because we got blown out at home?
That too.
For homecoming.
That too.
That was embarrassing. Like we were sold out then for homecoming and then turn around and get blown out during homecoming. You don't lose homecoming.
Yeah.
I think that had a huge thing to do with it. But, okay, nonetheless. Well, speaking of players and attendance, things of that sort, shout out to offensive tackle for the Jaguars, Jatari Carter. He accepted his invite to the NFL's East-West Shrine Bowl.
Yeah, Jatari.
Shout out to the young man.
Congratulations.
Him and the rest of the Jaguars are going to, thug it out coming this Saturday. But shout out to you, Mr. Carter, on your invite from the NFL East-West Shrine Bowl. Support him, please. Up next, we have entertainment, you guys, and y'all don't want to miss this.
Let's go.
Hey Jags, Kiana here. Be sure to listen to Jag Talk podcast and follow us on our social media at SouthernU_OSM on Instagram and SouthernUOSM on Twitter. For those who cannot spell, it is SOUTHERNU_OSM. Go Jags!
Dr. Merrick, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, DeBrandon. How are you?
I'm fine. It's a Wednesday. I'm doing all right. So
it's another beautiful day on the bluff.
Another beautiful day on the bluff. So let's start with the voting, the election season. So again, there's a lot of student discourse going on this time of year. This is HBCU, a college campus. College campuses around the country. Voting season, election season is one of the more important times of the year around the country, but especially on college campuses. What are some things that, you would think students around campus will need to know going into this voting season? Election day is, correct me if I'm wrong, on the 13th of this month.
Right. Election day is November 13th, so that's Saturday. And of course, that's a big football game for Southern Baton Rouge. But we do want to remind everyone that voting is going on that day. The polls open at 6 a.m. and they close at 8.
Uh-huh.
So there's a great time to get out and take care of your vote. And earlier we were pushing early voting. One, because you just never know where you're going to be on election day. So it's always useful to go ahead and take care of that as early as you can. Mm-hmm. And so the early voting started on October 30th and was all the way through November 6th.
How do you feel about the student participation in early voting this year from your perspective that you was able to see? Like, do you feel like it was successful? Do you think it could have went better? But how do you think that go. What's up?
Yeah, I think we have been successful over the years with our student engagement as it relates to early voting. And this year may not have been as exciting because the ballot wasn't chock full of positions, so to speak of, in terms of people running for offices. We had a statewide constitutional 4 statewide constitutional amendments on the ballot, mm-hmm. and a couple of judgeships here in the Baton Rouge area, but that didn't apply to every precinct. So I do think that years where there's a presidential race going on or a gubernatorial race, then you have more interest and excitement as it relates to participating in voting. This year, maybe not as much, but I am still excited about the number of students who were aware and sought that information out and wanted to be engaged in the process.
Could you talk about what it's like, what the voting process is like? What are some things that first-time voters will need to know going into the ballots?
As a first-time voter, I would definitely encourage them to visit our website. We have a website, www.sus.edu/SUvotes. That's the initiative that the university launched a couple of years ago. And so every election, we put information out about that particular election and what's on the ballot. So I definitely would encourage first-time voters to find out as much as possible, read the newspaper, see what's going on the news, on television, keep up with the items that will be on the ballot. And another great resource that I always rely on here in Louisiana is the Public Affairs Research Council. It's PAR Louisiana for short, PAR. And they really do a great job, and we partner with them even to share the information that they put forward with our students so they can know and understand, what's on the ballot and what a vote, particularly as it relates to amendments and proposals like that, to find out what a vote yes means and versus what a vote no means. And so really understanding what's on the ballot prior to going to your polling site is always important. And that information comes out very early, several weeks prior to an election.
Could you give us an example of some of the, more pressing amendments or the really big amendments that are going to be at the ballot this year?
All four of them are actually, they have to do with sales tax collection. That's a really big one that has been going on, a conversation around the state, even in terms of how the state legislature handles the budget in the state of Louisiana. Those are two of probably the big ones to be mindful of. But anytime that we're talking about making adjustments to the state constitution, that's a really important something that you want to pay attention to. That's what an amendment does. It is changing the constitution of the state one way or the other. And all those constitutional amendments have to go back to the people for their vote and not just the legislature. So it does have to go through the legislative process to start. And then before it is changed in the Constitution, that's when we see the people coming in and placing their vote. And it's going to be really interesting to see because historically speaking, a lot of times amendments, people go in and they vote all yes or all no versus some yeses and some nos. And so it's going to be interesting to see on Saturday night when the results come in just where we land on those four constitutional amendments.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you coming by and speaking with us, being able to take some time out. I like, informative interviews. I feel like this is really informative. I feel like it's going to give a lot of perspective to the different students listening in. If you have any, last comments or last thoughts about, the election season as a whole that you would want the students to, know about or be aware of?
Just a couple of last comments. Definitely encourage everyone to vote on Saturday if you have not already taken part in early voting. The polls again open 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And to Brandon, I want to thank you and the folks over at Jag Podcast for the work that you're doing to not only spread the word about voting, but just really keep the campus informed of a number of things going on across this landmass here for Southern University. So really hats off to you and your team and the work that you all are doing.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And we appreciate you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. You have a good one, okay?
What's up, Jags? This is Alicia, and you're listening to Jag Talk Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at SouthernU_OSM and Twitter at SouthernUOSM for all your latest campus news, sports, and entertainment. Go Jags.
And we have another quick little student interview going on. So last week was AWS week here on the Bluff. So today joining us, we have AWS President Latavia. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing all right. We're doing all right. So from your point of view, how did AWS week go last week? Did it meet your expectations? How did you enjoy the pageant? Do you have a favorite event? What was your general take on how the week's events went?
I honestly am very pleased at the turnout of AWS week. Little background, originally we were supposed to have AWS week in October, but some things happened to where we had to push it back. So being that we were able to, overcome all of the obstacles and still be able to get through the week, I'm really proud of myself and along with my cabinet for pulling off a great week last week.
Definitely. And I think that all the events, they really went on really well. I thought that the pageant was really cool. I don't know. I just seeing the different people from SU. Of course, the young ladies, but seeing the young men come out as well during the pageant, that was really cool to see. So I always enjoy, just that kind of stuff going on during y'all week. Did you have an event that stood out to you most, that you were most proud of?
I guess the one I was most excited about was the Monday event, which was Brunch on Bourbon. Basically, brunch was supposed to be the kickoff for the week and allowing the ladies to, feel how we're coming for the week, get them out of their shells, get them out of their rooms, and basically empower them and prepare them for not just AWS week, but, the rest of the school year. And then my second favorite one was the pageant, of course, because I love pageants. I'm actually the former Miss Men's Fed from last school year. So the brunch and the pageant was the ones I was really looking forward to for the week.
I got you. So real quick, could you give the listeners a little bit of context and details about what AWS is responsible for, what y'all do, what the organization as a whole represents here on campus?
So basically, the Association for Women Students is AWS, and we basically all work together to just provide a safe space for female students on campus, whether that's through programming or hosting events or just having different motivational posts posted on our social media platforms, just allowing the students to put a name with their leaders' faces and knowing that, you know, there are females that are being trailblazers on campus and are able to be the voice for the students that aren't able to speak out about how they feel about their campus experience. So AWS is just basically that liaison specifically for female students.
That's really cool. And I think, you know, it's really like just needed here on the HBCU campus where like the majority of our population are, of course, female Jaguars. So I mean, I think that's really important. It's really crucial to like just how we carry business around here at Southern University. So let's get to the realm of entertainment, right? So, and not necessarily entertainment, but just world stuff going on today.
Black Lives Matter.
So Sierra shared this with me a little bit earlier this week up in our group meet. Only 3 black jurors are going to be present in
Only
Arbor.
one.
Only one?
Only one.
That's
black
crazy.
juror. And they had a person that was kind of putting forth like the effort to say like, we can't subject black people to say that they're going to do the right thing for other black people. That I guess there's only the jurors. There's only one black person. So if you think about it, all those white people might not be for black people, and all those white people may be for black people. You never know.
But the mere fact
that he's a black person and he's only being represented or judged by one black person, like it's not just.
So for those who don't know, Ahmaud Arbery was a 25-year-old black jogger who was shot 3 times in February 2020 while being chased through the streets of Brunswick, Georgia by William Bryan along with Gregory McMichael and his son Travis McMichael.
Yes.
Now, that's the main information here. And I know you're thinking, oh, well, why would they do that? They claim that they were trying to make a citizen's arrest and that he was guilty of burglary.
That was the guy.
However,
I don't remember.
When they're doing a citizen's arrest, just like with regular police officers, you have to have proof. They did not have any proof. They just looked like somebody.
They rolled up on him in their truck.
Yeah,
and recorded it. That's how people even knew about it. The
jury problem is much deeper than what people are saying. So, white males born in the South over the age of 40 years old without a 4-year college degree sometimes are known as Bubbas or Joe Six-Packs. That is what Kevin Go, who is the defense lawyer, has expressed is undocumented in juror polls and how they're not being represented. So it's not fair to prosecute them without people that think like them, act like them, and look like them inside the juror stand.
But if you think about
but when have black people had all black jurors? Never. That has never been an option. So this is racially motivated, and this is, in fact, racial degradation. In my opinion, it's disgusting is what it is. And so you have this young man who was murdered. He was literally slaughtered. And on top of that, that's not the only charges that they're facing. They're facing false imprisonment. They're also facing aggravated assault. And then on top of that, they're also being charged with murder.
And you know the person that video recorded, they're trying to.
Yeah, because he tried to make it seem as if like, I was minding my business and then I saw it and not recorded.
Oh, no, and then they
ran on it too.
They're also saying that Travis McMichael, his defense is it was self-defense because he reached for my gun. If you pull up on me with a gun, ain't no way you getting away with it. Like you gonna have to, you gonna pop, you gonna pull. Like I'm not playing.
Of you all in one man.
Exactly.
I'm gonna just say this: like the whole topic of having a jury of your peers, that's obviously a myth as it relates to black people, and it's something that is 2022 when we thought that would be a different case. It's not. It's a sad whole little situation. Hopefully justice is served.
We're praying for his family as well as everybody else involved.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
On a lighter note though, Bayou Classic.
We got our tickets. For anybody that can repost that our flyer or anything else that is dealing with Southern_OSM with Bayou Classic can win your 2 Bayou Classic free tickets.
Yes,
Once again, tag us. Make sure you repost our flyer. Follow us. You know, everything. Make sure you support us, and that's the way that you'll get your free tickets. Tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your aunties, tell your mama.
Baby.
Everybody.
This will be back next week. Jag Talk Podcast. We out this thing.
All love.
Greetings, Jaguar Nation. Next week will be our first small student business advertising week. Come promote your business on the digital kiosk and the student newspaper on November 8th through the 12th. Your business graphic will be on the kiosk all week in the student union, and you will also get a 1/4 full color ad, all just for $25. For further information, contact the Office of Student Media or email Elise_Shelton at subr.edu.